Are you ready to turn your best ideas into a thriving online business?
Introducing Shopify, your no excuses business partner. You might not realize, but our podcast, More Than Mammies, it's a business. And we started it, of course, to talk about maternity, not to become an e-commerce expert.
So yeah, we needed some help selling our merch and getting our store up and running. Woohoo! Another sale!
Shopify is a commerce platform revolutionizing millions of businesses worldwide.
No matter if you are a garage entrepreneur or a big business, Shopify is the only tool you need to start and grow your business without the struggle.
With Shopify's single dashboard, you can manage orders, shipping, and payments from anywhere, giving you the insights you need wherever you are. Sign up for $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/sonoro, all lowercase.
Go to shopify.com/sonoro to take your business to the next level today.
Shopify.com/sonoro.
Welcome to the Brown and Black Podcast. My name is Jack Rico.
And I'm Mike Sargent.
And every week we take a look at race and pop culture through a brown and black lens. Mike, so recently you had sent me on Instagram. It was a WBLS news item about AMC that had supposedly done Beyoncé wrong. And I was like, no way that the actual CEO said that he deliberately leaked that. And there's like a photo of the guy like smiling. I was like, this can't be.
All right,
So-
let me give the headline. Let me give the headline just so the listeners know what you're saying. AMC Theatres admits to sabotaging Beyoncé's Renaissance concert film and not Taylor Swift's. Cut to Beyoncé smiling and this clown, Adam Aaron, clowning. So now, please, go ahead.
So then you and I ended up talking and going, dude, this is it. This is what we got to talk about. Because I think what this story is at its core is how the systemic race issue is so a part and insidiously ingrained in celebrity life. And how certain executives, mostly white old men, are so disconnected with what they're even saying that they don't even notice that they just offended someone who is a global superstar. And this is what I wanted to talk to you about. And I think, Mike, we should probably take people who haven't read the article yet, but break down exactly what went down. Let me begin right here. Last year, for you folks that don't know what went on, last year, AMC Theatres decided to partner with Beyoncé and Taylor Swift to release concert films only exclusively with them, and thus bypassing the whole movie studio system. Warner Brothers, Paramount, Columbia Pictures, they got pissed off. Wait a minute, that's not the way things are done. Then the theater owners like Regal Cinema, the rival of AMC, they're getting ticked off because they were blindsided by the whole thing. And they're supposed to be friends, Mike. So they're like, dude, how do you not tell us about this thing, especially knowing how dire the situation is in the theatrical industry right now? So this guy, Adam Aaron, the CEO of AMC, goes ahead and leaks the news to them of when exactly Beyonce's movie is going to drop. Therefore giving them, dude, this is like insider trading, okay? Information that you're not supposed to activate in any way. It's like an embargo, so to speak.
That's exactly what it is.
But these guys decided to leak it to everybody else. So guess who finds out? Beyoncé.
Now, let me give a little context here. AMC has been in trouble since the pandemic, okay? And this guy, Adam Aaron, is in a situation where, okay, how are we going to make more money for AMC. How are we going to survive? They've got loans that are coming due in 2028 and 2027. So how are they going to do that? Because as we all know, the industry's was gutted for a while. A lot of movie chains went out of business. AMC bought them up. AMC has also invested in gold and silver, and they're selling popcorn and shopping malls.
But they're also a
malls
meme stock.
Well, exactly. They're also a meme stock. Now, I say all this to understand that, so the pressure's on. So for Aaron, he's got to make money. He's got to make money for the shareholders. He's got to make sure AMC doesn't go out. Meanwhile, like you said, it's a dance. At the same time, he's got to be beholden to the studios because they're the ones who provide him with a product. If he becomes his own distributor and cuts them out. So by doing this without telling them, this was a huge risk. By doing this without telling them, what means is AMC can start selling tickets first because the studios and the other chains don't even know that it's happening.
Yeah.
Now, okay. The problem is what you just said. Then he goes, oh, okay. Hey, since you're mad at me, guess what? Beyonce's got a film coming out too. Now, what this has ended up doing is Beyonce, the Renaissance film, a film by Beyonce it's the 5th highest grossing concert film of all time. 44 million in ticket sales. But guess what? Taylor Swift has already passed 260 million. So it's not just that Beyonce found out, but him doing that has literally cost any and everybody that's involved with Beyonce over $16 million. Not to mention the fact that by leaking it, that means people feel, oh, I don't have to go to Beyonce's concert. I can just wait for the film.
Mm-hmm. So she was almost about to cancel the whole thing. And that's when everybody got involved and they decided to go with it. But in this Variety article that came out recently, they interviewed the CEO, Adam Aaron, and this guy dropped this in a conversation with the reporter and had no idea what this guy was saying. The Today Show picked it up. This became news around the industry because, Mike, what we're really talking about here right now is that we're looking at white privilege working and being protected in the world of celebrity. There's a hierarchy in the pop world. And right now, Taylor Swift is that. And Beyonce has always been pitted in the media and the press against Taylor Swift. And what's really being pitted at is black versus white. Who is the conqueror? Who is the leader? Who's the woman?
And who's going to aid in that battle and victory?
So at this point, we got to start looking at this from the root. How is it that this guy, and this is exactly what he did, Mike, the CEO, Adam Aaron, gave up the way Judas gave up Jesus to the Romans. This guy gave up Beyonce.
And literally in breach of his contract not to do so.
Absolutely. And then said it with a smile on his face like and the reporter never fucking pushed back. Bad reporting.
Listen, but he said it casually to the main industry publication out there, Variety.
Because we all know that there's conversations that are being had on the surface in society, and then there's like the real conversations that are being had privately. Those are the conversations, folks. The ones in closed rooms, those are the real conversations you want to be hearing. And this is what happened here, except that this guy didn't think anything wrong with it. And I think that's the entitlement, that's the systemic issue that we're going here, is that how much bias was involved in this. Like the quick white Taylor Swift, black Beyonce, white audience, black audience, black music, black association, white everything, America's sweetheart image. Travis Kelce, NFL, Super Bowl. What's more money? What will my kids and me rather go to? And my friends and my coworkers and everybody that looks like me? How much of all of that in a nanosecond kicked in, dude? And that guy then made a decision and gave up because he said, and quote, he said, "We can't blow up Taylor."
To me, that is the smoking gun. And just to unwrap it a little bit here, because we're talking about he just did this and he just casually said this. And again, we won't even get into the fact that he didn't feel there would be any repercussions or he wouldn't have done this. That's why you see him in, I feel like that smiling, smug picture of him is perfect. But you know what I can partially accredit this to? And you tell me if you agree, because I'm going to read the definition from the Australian Human Rights Commission of what is unconscious bias. Unconscious biases are the learned stereotypes about certain groups of people that are formed outside of conscious awareness. They are automatic, unintentional, deeply ingrained in our beliefs, universal, and have the ability to affect our behavior. Do you think Adam Aaron had unconscious bias?
Yo, dude, it's oozing out of the guy to the point that he thinks that there's nothing wrong with that. And this is what happens when you put a person in a position of leadership. Imagine, okay, so this is the what if moment. What if he blew up Taylor?
He'd be on the cover of Time magazine on a cross as like Jesus, because they'd have crucified him.
Imagine you went to war with Taylor Swift.
Please.
And all of her
be
fans.
at his office.
Yo, dude, we would have a celebrity pop culture civil war. Blacks, whites.
Dude, I you know.
And I'm talking like at this point, you're looking at Taylor Swift, because now this is war. So she's like the Robert F. Lee, the Confederate in this way, and Beyonce's the Frederick Douglass of her time fighting this war. And they're just now symbols because it's the people that are pissed because this guy created that collision.
You're exactly right that they're symbols. They're symbols of culture and they're symbols of dominance. Okay, so I have long seen what goes on in the pop culture world and music world and entertainment in general, but similar to what happens in sports, and we talked about it, where Taylor Swift, we know that Blacks and Latinos can completely dominate music, pop culture, easily, and have often until it's co-opted in some way. But someone like Taylor Swift is the great white hope. You can't screw over Taylor. Yeah, Beyonce's got a concert, but we can't screw over Taylor because she's the great white hope.
There you go. That's it. That's it. It's tribal, Mike. It's people protecting their own. It's hard not to look at this through a critical race theory lens because of the system that's set up and the people who are running the system and how their decisions do affect brown and black people. And here's the other part, man. It doesn't matter how famous you are. It doesn't matter how many followers you have.
It does not.
It doesn't matter how many awards you have. It doesn't matter how many records you have. It doesn't matter how many people you've influenced around the world. If you have a certain skin color and the leader of that industry doesn't?
All right. I get it. He needs to make sure AMC survives. I get it. He needs to make sure he has a good relationship with these theater chains or with the studios. And they're mad at him. Now, we're at war, right? Who do we send to the front line? Who's expendable? Who can we profit off of with zero guilt?
Ask the Mexicans in the 1920s when they deported hundreds of thousands of them.
Bingo. So to me, when I hear that, and in doing research for this, because this comes back to something that we really haven't talked about, I think, on the show, but as I was doing you start to go down the rabbit hole a little as you're researching, you think about what are the themes that are being brought up in this scenario to me. And I came across a New Yorker article from 2020. It's titled, "Is Capitalism Racist?" Now, I suggest it's by Nicholas Lehman. I suggest you read it, but I think that at its core, because of how this country was built, capitalism and slavery are bonded together. And I think capitalism is racist because so many aspects of what it takes and what capitalism does are racist. And
yeah, man,
to me,
but it's so hard to hear you say that because there's so many minorities, brown and black, that benefit so much from capitalism. Ask Michael Jordan. Ask Tyler Perry.
Yeah, but they're the anomalies. They had to find a way to make it work for them.
Ask LeBron James. Ask
sure.
What I'm trying to tell you, man, is that if it was one person in the history of America that's going through that, then you would say, yeah, capitalist is completely, irrefutably racist. But racist means that you cannot move up in life because there's barriers set so much in front of you that you are not, you're the other. So what I'm saying is if you're benefiting from the same shit that white people are, maybe you're not the owner of a basketball team, but damn it, that's already heading down that route. The coaches are, a lot of coaches are now black.
Let me challenge you on that. Okay. Yes. Coaches are now black.
The president of the United States was black.
Yeah.
The poet laureate of America is black. The greatest basketball player. Right.
Hear me out, Jack. Just because someone breaks through the barrier, just because someone pokes through the ceiling, just because we've had a black president doesn't mean the country's not still racist. Just because Beyoncé has made a lot of money as a capitalist and they're billionaires does not mean that she still can't get fucked over by the inherent racism that exists throughout the industry. Who's running all the movie studios? Besides Tyler Perry, who's running all the major movie studios? Who's running them? All I'm saying, Jack, is that just because some people have broken through a system does not mean the system has changed, that it is not inherently racist, that its tenets and many aspects of it are. And if all the captains of industry are conscious or unconsciously biased, even though Beyonce may be equal in terms of how much money she may have and influence she may have, who's going to get fucked over? Not Taylor Swift, Beyonce. Why? Because all those people that are part of the entertainment business, you name an industry, the artist may be one thing, but the people making the money, the people in control are something else. The people who are in control of these studios, in control of these theater chains, it is not people of color controlling and influencing a situation that can whisper, hey, check it out. Just so you still like me and we're all good buddies, fuck Beyonce. So I couldn't talk about what just happened with Beyonce without talking about what just happened with another former member of Destiny's Child, and that's Kelly Roland on the red carpet steps of the Cannes Film Festival, where she was disrespected by a white female security guard. And she had this to say about it.
I have a boundary, and I stand by those boundaries, and that is it. And there were other women that attended that carpet that did not quite look like me, and they didn't get there scolded or pushed off or told to get off. And I stood my ground, and she felt like she had to stand hers, but I stood my ground. And that was it.
To me, is no way you don't know who Kelly Roland is, and there's no way you wouldn't treat her like you would every other white celebrity on those steps. I see some similarities just in, it'll be fine. It doesn't matter that there's plenty of video and cameras going right in front, just like I'm doing an interview with Variety, and I'll just casually push your ass along.
There's definitely an anti-black attitude that has unfortunately been captured way too many times, and we all have way too many stories of this happening to a Mexican or a black person like Kelly Roland at a prestigious event. Something like this happening, dude, it's a sad state of affairs because you're not in control of any of it. It's just that you wake up one day and you're not included. We don't want you here. Move along. Just shut up and dribble.
Exactly.
These are people that I don't think are comfortable with black excellence. I don't think they're comfortable with brown excellence. It's threatening, Mike, when you think that you are the default color, the default narrative, the default storyline.
The default beauty.
And that someone is challenging, that's not the only beauty. And I think that this is what this race issue gets wrong, is that brown and black or any other color, we're not trying to replace the white, the dominant color. As Efren Rivera said, the dominant ideology. Because that's really what we're getting down to here, is the ideology of the whole thing, of the benefits of that color. All we want to do is be at the same table and break bread. But you're saying you're not worthy of being on my table breaking bread with me. So that's just some superiority shit, dude. That's just some boss shit. That's just you flexing. And we live in a society where these flexes are done silently, creating reverberations in our lives that we don't even know are happening. And if you don't believe me, go back and listen to our Nuri Martinez episode. Because those conversations, Mike, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, the private ones, the ones that get recorded and then leaked, those are the real conversations. Those are the ones we all should be having out in the open. Because then we can squash it, man. So this just to me is another example of somebody with unconscious bias who put against the wall on a business capitalistic level, gave up the black woman for the white woman. Because to me, Taylor and Beyoncé are arbitrary, dude. Swirl your finger and pick which one you would have had a hit. This is an embarrassment of riches for AMC. But it just says a lot. The optics here. You can make a whole argument for the business aspect. You can make a whole argument. Look, just the numbers dictate that right now she's number one on the charts and here and there and this says and that. But you're going to tell me you're going to go wrong with Beyoncé? You just didn't want to make a case for her. She didn't have anybody black in the room making a case for her. She didn't have anybody black in the boardroom making a case for her. She didn't have any black theater owner making a case for her. There was nobody of color in the room making a case for her. This is why we need us in there. The system won't allow it, but you know what? We talked about how some of us do make it. And to a certain extent, there's a certain responsibility to be able to fill those spaces with people that look like us. Because if not, this is the shit that happens. And yo, I can't wait till somebody asks Beyoncé this question. Because she's dealing with this shit also on the country music side. White privilege, brother. This is Beyoncé versus white privilege. That's it for this episode of Brown and Black. If you would like to support this podcast, please subscribe and leave a review. Your help will allow us to be heard by many more people. You can follow our comments and opinions on @BrownBlackPodcast on Instagram and YouTube. We'll see you on the next episode of Brown and Black.
Summer concerts, pool parties, chill nights under the stars. We're stocking up our closet so you're ready to look your best for all of it. At Plato's Closet in West Ashley and North Charleston, we're buying all things summer. So bring in your tees, tote bags, sandals, sunglasses, and more. We pay cash on the spot for gently loved name brand looks. Plato's Closet is the go-to destination for trend-forward teens and young adults who support local and shop sustainable. Visit Plato's Closet today. Plato's Closet, located in West Ashley on Sam Rittenberg Boulevard and North Charleston on Rivers Avenue.
Are you ready to launch your career to new heights? Visit careers.dish.com/technician now and uncover a world of exciting opportunities waiting just for you. From cutting-edge technology to a supportive work environment, Dish has everything you need to thrive. Don't wait any longer to kickstart your next opportunity. Apply today and join the Dish family where innovation meets opportunity. Visit us online at careers.dish.com/technician. Your future starts now.